I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist. The TV, film, and streaming industries have ground to a halt with Hollywood actors and writers on strike. They're calling for better pay and more details about streaming audiences. Orange is the New Black actor Emma Miles says they never received fair compensation from Netflix.
There's not really much of a kickback for any of the people involved on the creative side. So for something like an episode of Law and Order SVU that you would have gotten like a good like several $1,000s from it re-airing on television, you get about, I don't know, $20 for people to be able to watch Orange, all 5 seasons of Orange in perpetuity. And that's a pretty big discrepancy.
Actor Margaret Cho has been in the industry for years. Cho says that everyday working actors need to be protected. She says not all actors are A-listers.
The majority of our industry really is working class. We are working class people. We need these jobs. We need these residuals. We need to be able to make a living wage. And this is something that I think people who are not in the entertainment industry don't understand. They look at the movie stars and they think, oh, they have so much money. That's not the case. When you look at a television program or a film, you see many actors who make the bulk of the movie and the film that you're watching, the television show you're watching. And so those are working class people. We need protection.
The SAG-AFTRA strike is the nation's largest strike since 1997. Back in 1960, when writers and actors walked out, the actors were on strike for about a month before reaching a deal, while the writers' strike carried on. The Frameline Festival out of San Francisco is the world's largest LGBTQ+ film festival. It's dedicated to sharing authentic queer stories. And Frameline's Allegra Madsen and James Woolley say the work of the festival comes at a crossroads of queer rights in America.
Look, Frameline is the world's longest running and largest LGBTQ+ film festival. And it's the film festival that other film festivals look to fill up their programming slate. It also makes sure that these very important films get the largest audience they possibly can. And sometimes films are sold out of this festival. I think we play an important role in making sure that queer films are seen by the queer community. We're also very proud that we have a streaming platform that means that a lot of these films that we played can actually be viewed in states that are really not pro-LGBTQ+ at the moment, and people could access the program, and we love doing that. You know, I just think in general, film festivals are about community. I think film festivals are best when audiences see multiple things so they can see the different variations of our community.
Part of a festival is a moment for our community to come together, and it is also for us to learn about one another. One of my festival highlights was the documentary "Who I Am Not," which is about 2 South African intersex people, and it's very arty, it's very nuanced, it's very beautiful, and I was really not sure how it was going to be received. It was received so warmly. People were so moved. It was one of the most profound film experiences that I had during the festival. And this is really an opportunity for the larger queer community to learn about one of our letters that doesn't get a whole lot of attention. And I think in this political climate, we are divided a lot. And the film festival, like James was describing, allows us to learn about one another so that we can all stand together.
Visit frameline.org for more information and programs. The Netflix animated film Nimona has a 94% fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes. It's about shape-shifting as a queer and trans allegory and chosen family. The book's original writer, ND Stevenson, told me that many lines from the film are taking on a whole new meaning given the current LGBTQ+ climate.
I couldn't help watching this film about the misunderstood being demonized and cast out. And, of course, we have countless hundreds and hundreds of anti-LGBTQ+ bills, especially those that attack the trans community, and trans people are being demonized at this point. I truly read it as an allegory for what's happening there. Would you speak to that aspect of it?
Yeah, I think that there's always been a fantasy of gender fluidity at the heart of my interest with shapeshifters in general, and with Nimona especially. I I don't think any of us could have predicted how like vile this very reactionary moral panic would be, even just in the last year, how that's intensified. And there are so many lines in the movie that have just taken on a new, I'm seeing them in a whole new way, especially them like sowing paranoia about like the monster could be anywhere, could be any one of us, could be in your family, which is really what we're seeing happening now. But again, it's always like, look over there, the villain, the monster, everybody hate them, fear them. And then usually there's a much more mundane evil going on behind the scenes. And I think that's absolutely what's happening now. And I hope this movie just like questions that of just like, why? Why are you so afraid? Where is this hatred coming from? Is it yours really? Or is it a ploy by someone else, which I truly believe is behind this moral panic?
Right. Or are you being manipulated? Sure. Yeah. And then also there's a beautiful queer love story that is kind of the heart of it. One of the hearts, there's a few, there's friendship as well. But would you talk about the idea of these two knights who are just in love and it's not a meal made out of their queerness?
I just really love how that relationship comes across in the movie. In the book, it's not quite as textual. It's a little, you have to kind of know it's there, which is, it's really great. Like, this is a different day and age, and to see this on TV, and it's like, I think a lot of times people are like, oh, they're gay and it's no big deal. And it's like, well, if you're gay, it is a big deal. It's a big part of yourself. Yeah. It has to be loved and accepted for you to be loved and accepted. It's never going to be something that's like, I love you despite. It's like, no, you love me in part because this is a big part of myself. And I think that's the role it takes in this movie. It is so integral to their emotional arc in the movie of their pain at being torn apart and having to face off against each other. But it also is just another part of the fabric of this story. And I just think that such a beautiful balance was struck there. It drives the story forward. It can't be removed. And it's a part of who the characters are.
Yeah, wonderful. And then also there are queer and trans people who are voicing this film. And I think it's really lovely that, it didn't need to be that way. But would you talk about that, the casting choices?
Yeah, I mean, I think this cast, I cannot imagine a more perfect cast. They are the characters, and it's, they've brought a whole new dimension to them just from even what I knew them to be before it was a movie, when it was just a comic and they were just voices in my head, in a normal way, maybe. But yeah, I mean, I think that I love, like, I had been watching the screening and listening to Julio Torres's voice for so long without knowing it was him. And I'm just like, I love him so much. And when I was like, you didn't tell me that was him. It's just a really, really great cast of people with incredible voices who bring so much to this world and also show the tapestry of life that we are living in now in our world. And it's, casting the movie the way our world really is. So yeah, I couldn't be happier.
Now the Federal Reserve says Taylor Swift's Eras Tour is actually boosting the U.S. economy. The Philadelphia Federal Reserve credits Swift's tour with increasing hotel revenue in the city. And Chicago officials say Swift's concert there in June helped set an all-time record for hotel rooms occupied, with more than 44,000 hotel rooms booked each night of the concert. Swift is extending her tour, announcing dates in South America, Asia, Europe, Australia, and more. You can watch the Advocate channel live by downloading our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. For the Advocate channel, I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist, and thank you for watching.